Stalkers are really good against roaches. The focus fire just takes them down so fast. Um, and then these immortals are just going to cause huge amounts of damage. I'm moving out some troops to go and pitch in. Um, but really this pressure put on by Shadowsbane is a huge help to us. Like, I need anything I can get to distract them from coming and finishing me off. So any kind of aggression here is good. Now it looks like Lusain is getting some help from Goodbadugly, and he's coming in to push his force out. But unfortunately for him, I've got my pincer attack going on here. I come up from behind. Do some significant damage here, I believe. I've got siege mode, so that siege tank is going to be able to siege up and really wreak havoc up on this ledge here. Just great positioning for that siege tank. Looks like I'm reinforcing from my barracks. I've got the rally point set here. And being able to just lock down this expansion is giving me a chance to get back in the game. Yeah, I've got, very few SCVs, but we're going to see later on that this mineral patch not being mined that much is it's going to give me that extra boost. Oh, that siege tank just destroyed my own troops there. That's why it's a good idea to sometimes select your siege tank and either hit stop, or you can definitely focus on one particular unit that you want to hit. But otherwise, like when you're being attacked by Zerglings, your siege tank can do more damage to your own troops than the Zerglings do. We got 6 Hydras here. He lost his Hydra Den, so those are the last Hydras that are going to be out for a while. Reinforcing force here for Shadowsbane. And look at this. Oh, I just get my tanks up and siege. Get a nice shot in there on the Hydras, but oh, just brutal when he gets those Zerglings out, how fast I can lose those siege tanks. Okay, so let's see, how are we doing here? Build back up okay here. I've got, 2 barracks, and a factory should be pumping out a siege tank, hopefully. I got this siege tank here. But I think this attack is pretty much played out. Fortunately for us, oh, that's why I was saving up for an expansion, so I wasn't pumping out a siege tank at that moment. Goodbadugly uses the drops pretty well in this game. Just the medevacs over the distance here that you have to travel on foot. The medevacs really help to get in those marauder forces to help reinforce his partner. So yeah, like at this point now, starting to get mined out here for Lusain, and he doesn't have an expansion up. So in that sense, my economy is actually pulling even with Lusain. Just through the constant aggression, we were able to distract them enough from my base that I'm starting to pull back into this thing. So let's take a look at the income tab. I'm at 620, Lusain's at 580, and I got a good amount of SCVs there. This command center is just going to pop up pretty soon. I even managed to have a Marine Marauder force with a siege tank. Now I spot these 2 medevacs coming, and just 2 medevacs, I know that I'm going to have very little trouble holding this off. The one thing about the drops is you don't want to be dropping your guys into Marine Marauder fire, because they get picked off one at a time. We have, those Zerglings just managed to pick off a siege tank, which is really freaking annoying. Right as it pops out. It's unfortunate, but able to hold off that attack, really helping out there. It's given Lusain a chance to get his army, or sorry, his expansion back up. So I have to fight off some Zerglings and lift off my command center so that it doesn't die. But all in all, held it off actually without too much trouble. Didn't really lose many SCVs, lost a couple siege tanks and a couple Marines and Marauders, but Shadowsbane, fortunately, looks like some aggression here. Let's just take that back a notch. Yeah, it looks like there was I missed out on quite a bit. So Shadowsbane decides to move in because that their attack just failed. Still, Goodbadugly has a decent sized force right up there to protect his expansion. But you know, if you can peg off this command center, do a whole lot. But yeah, he takes all of his SCVs and starts repairing there. These zealots can just chew through marines, so that's good. And then once the zealots get through the marines, this immortal is going to be destroying some marauders. Just like a really good troop mixture for Shadowsbane to fight against marines and marauders. With the amount of zealots he had, especially, and then with the immortal to take out the marauders. So these stalkers are pretty much done. Shadowsbane can reinforce from this center watchtower, which is a really good position to hold. I'm just getting out a small force here to defend his stalkers from all those Zerglings, and we're gonna push them back. Goodbadugly has got some SCVs chasing around those Zerglings. I think that's by accident. Okay, so good spot for my siege tank to be sitting. We decided we're gonna hold this watchtower and keep that forward position there. My command center is up. I haven't really been mining from it quite yet because, well, it wasn't overly saturated at the main here, but pretty soon I'm going to do a transfer of SCVs. And yeah, I have a siege tank sitting there doing pretty much nothing. Hopefully I can move that out. More aggression from the Zerg, just trying to push out, but with this siege tank here, it's really going to deter them from taking this this location. And hopefully, yeah, I've got that siege tank coming. This one is still sitting there, probably going to sit there for the rest of the game if I don't notice it. And looks like, Lusain tried to expand over here, actually got a hatchery up, but Shadowsbane scattered it out and is taking it out with some zealots. Nothing can possibly go reinforce it. That would be the reason why Lusain was trying to push out with his Zerg, but when he found out that he wasn't going to be able to walk by these siege tanks, he had to change his strategy. So he's kind of walking around here, not really knowing where he should hit. He sees this expansion coming up, and big push here by Goodbadugly. He realizes that I got the siege tanks to fend him off. Unfortunately, this nexus is gonna go down, but I decided that I want to try to clean these guys up as best I can, so I push back with my siege tanks. That did a whole lot of damage. Yeah, 3 siege tanks popping off into Hydralisks. That's definitely going to take them down fast enough. So, okay, I got my second base up and running. Lusain has his expansion back up and running, but is mined out here at his main. So, big battle at the middle here. Goodbadugly has the economy in the macro. He's really bringing a lot of troops into the fight, but these High Templar do a really good job of that. Too bad they didn't have one more storm here. Would have taken every single one of these guys out, including the medevac. But yeah, Shadowsbane's going to come back and be able to clean up that little army there. And hopefully, yeah, I got some guys coming out here. Decided to start building some barracks since my cache is getting huge and I don't have the buildings to pump out enough units. So, yeah, nice little attack from Shadowsbane. He's asking me to hold the watchtower, but looks like, if anything, he's gonna hold the watchtower. I guess I don't have any troops there quite yet. Looks like a reinforcing force here from Goodbadugly. Probably going to be able to take these zealots down. Now, if they focus fire the hatchery, it could go down. Not quite. 58 hit points left on that hatchery. I've got my siege tank up on the high ground.